hell yeah, another Vieira Vault show, and this is a rant show. I'm pissed off. Ah! So here's some reviews so I can get into my rant already. These are for the top 10 worst movie sequels with Brian Davis from Damn Good Movie Memories podcast, and Ian Wadley. And Ian left a comment saying, "Need more booze." Okay. And the water is wet. Marco R said, "Great video as always. 10 for episode 10. Thank you." Joseph Staub, awesome show, guys. Thank you. Abby and Hannah's dad said, "I'm starting to hate Ian less and less. Maybe I'm just getting used to his drunk babble. Wayne World 2, great, but Goodfellas, but good Godfather 3 on the list for worst? Nah, Godfather 3 was bad, but not even close to as bad as Wayne's World 2. Okay. By the way, Ian rules, dude. You will become a disciple. You just got to drink and listen to him. Joseph Staub said on the same episode, "I agree, Ian. You want a holiday movie, A Christmas Story is the only choice." You know what? I've never seen that movie. Maybe I should change that. Abby and Hannah's dad said Harold and Kumar 3 was garbage. I actually own the Harold and Kumar, not a box set, but it comes in like a D. It has all 3 Blu-rays. And I don't think I've seen 3. So I guess I'll wait to watch that one. Caddy, Jorum, Joorum, Jorum, I don't know. Caddyshack 2 and Beverly Hills 3 drain the life out of me. Depressing movies. Ain't nothing worse than a bad comedy sequel. The Sting 2 didn't bother me, but of course it's nowhere near as good as the first one. All right. And then we have, I don't know if I read this one, so if I did, you're going to have to sit through this again. This is from Dave Valdez from the Podbeam Malcolm Young episode. He said, "Long live Malcolm. Thanks for doing this episode on the day he passed. I was lucky enough to see Malcolm on the Flick of the Switch tour in San Antonio in 1983. What a memory that was. As you know, some of the most memorable concert stories are more about what happened before or after the show. I also saw the Black Ice tour, Malcolm's final tour with AC/DC. Most recently, I saw AC/DC on the Rocker Bus tour in Houston. The next scheduled show was 2 days later in Kansas City, where Brian played his final show with AC/DC. Rock on, Ralph. Keep doing what you do. I'll keep listening to the Vieira Vault and the Rock and Metal Combat podcast and keep spreading the word." Thank you so much, Dave Valdez. I really appreciate your comment and everybody's comment on here. And thank you. Yes, spread the word of the Vieira Vault and Rock and Metal Combat podcast. Everybody out there. Well, I don't know. If you keep listening, a lot of people are going to stop listening to me because my rant has to do with a lot of popular opinions on music that I find just fucking ridiculous. I mean, fucking ridiculous. So let's get into this.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
So I see this post on Facebook, and it's a very popular opinion that I really don't understand, you fucks. It's one thing that you don't like and don't want to see it. That's fine. I understand that. But it's another thing to tell a band or a band member what to do because it doesn't fit your criteria. You fuck. Angus Young. The great, legendary Angus Young. A man that busted his ass in the early days and then became this huge icon. And when you go see him live now, he still gives you 120 million% on stage, 2 hours plus on stage, running, jumping, falling on the floor, going around in circles at his fucking age. Bust his fucking ass doing what he's doing. Not to mention, he just lost not one but 2 brothers in the span of a month. And then I see a post today where I think it's a bullshit website news story. Hopefully it's not because I want to see it. saying that, Angus and Axl are working on a new album. Don't do it, Angus. Oh, he don't need the money. These, what the fuck, man? All right, look, I can understand making a post saying, shit, I'm not seeing this shit. I don't like Axl Rose's voice. I'm not supporting this shit. Okay, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But you fucking, who the fuck are you to tell Angus, this motherfucker that's been busting his ass longer than you've been alive? Yes, the people writing this shit are fucking young. Or at least, like, not even old enough to be around when Black and Black came out. This is what gets me about the whole AC/DC hatred of Axl Rose being in the band. Nobody gave a fuck when Malcolm was no longer in the band and Brian was still there. Oh, everybody was fine with that. The second that Brian was out and they brought Axl in, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is just wrong. They only have 2 members left. Yeah, right. You know what? Let me tell you something about your generation against my generation. When Bon Scott died on February 19th, 1980, they released an album with Brian Johnson on July 25th, 1980. What is that, like just 5 days after 5 months of his death, they already released a fucking album? Not one person back in the day bitched about it. Not one! As a matter of fact, Back in Black went on to be the biggest selling hard rock album of all time. I believe only Michael Jackson is the only album that sold more. Thriller. Oh, everybody loved Back in Black. Everybody supported AC/DC back then. Can you imagine that happening now? It wouldn't. It would get so much fucking shit from you fuckers. Get off my lawn, you young fucks. You have no appreciation for legends at all. Nobody was a bigger Bon Scott fan than me. Hell, I'll take Bon Scott over fucking Brian Johnson and Axl Rose combined. I was depressed. I was sad when he died. I remember it well. Finding out in school that he died. And just 5 months later, bam, brand new album. And everybody loved it. My generation fucking loved it. Not one person said, that's wrong. Bon just died. He's not even warm yet. He's not even cold yet in the ground and they're ready fucking released a new album? No. Because the album fucking ruled. It had to do with music. So you fuckers are just writing it off because, oh, I don't like Axl Rose, so I don't want them to make a new album. And chances are if they do a new album, it's probably going to be 2-3 years from now after Malcolm died. I'm sure some of you fuckers will still be saying, oh, this is a disgrace to Malcolm Young. Like if Bon didn't fucking matter. Malcolm didn't fucking matter when he left the band and Brian was still in. And let me tell you something about Brian Johnson. I love Brian Johnson. I think Brian Johnson's a class act. You never hear him call out people and said bad things about people. Hell, you never even heard Angus say bad things about people. Angus is a fucking class act. He deserves fucking respect. And all you fucks out there with, he don't need the money. He don't need the money. Well, hey, how about the road crew that builds stages? That just run the AC/DC machine out there. You think they don't need fucking money? A lot of people were so fucking disgusted with them going on with Axl Rose after Brian had that hearing problem, but nobody takes into account the road crew. Not one person. Because these are people that, they had their, they have mortgages. They depended on that tour. When Brian left, they were fucked. They're like, oh, shit, And then when Axl came in, and guess what? They made money. There were refunds, yes. A lot of people refunded their tickets because they didn't like that Axl Rose was fronting AC/DC. A lot of people, that's one of the arguments I saw in that post today. Oh, there was a lot of people that refunded their tickets. Yeah, but you know what? Those refunded tickets were bought by people that did want to see it. I saw it at the ATT, what the hell is the name of that place? In Sunrise. Huge fucking venue. Tens and thousands of people can fit in there. And the fucker was sold out. I know it was sold out because I was walking up to it and people were asking for tickets. Well, maybe nosebleeds, there were a few up there. Maybe. I'm not sure. But I know when I looked around, that fucker looked sold out. And everywhere else they played, they packed the goddamn place with Axl Rose. And I'm not here to say Axl Rose is like a huge Axl Rose fan. Yes, I liked Appetite for Destruction. I thought Use Your Illusion was a bloated piece of shit, but, it had its moments. And I even liked some of Chinese Democracy. Shit, I liked most of it. But I'm in no way an Axl Rose supporter. I think what he did back in the day was bullshit. Like, there was shows he'd show up late at. And I was at some of those shows, and I didn't care, but shit, there were people next to me that had to work in the morning. I didn't, so. But I'm all for those people that are like, God damn it, I paid to see this shit, and the opening act came, and 2 hours, 3 hours later, and this fucking band's still laying on stage. Yeah, Axl was pulling some bullshit, but you know what? He stopped. AC/DC went right on time, and as far as I know, there hasn't been one late show with AC/DC with Axl. Not one. It always went on time. And as I understand, Guns N' Roses too now is always on time. But people always bring that up the past, Doesn't matter if you stop doing it. You're always going to be stigma of that. But, I will say back in the day, Axl was a fucking bitch. A prima donna bitch with his... But you know what? Another thing... But at the same time, if you flip the coin over about Axl Rose, and what I love about him, is that he don't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck. You know that Queen of the Stone Age guy is on controversy because he kicked some chick in the face. Kicked her camera and the camera hit her face, and he went out and apologized. Shit, if Axl did that, he wouldn't say a goddamn thing. He'd be like, fuck her. And even though it's wrong, at the same time, the guy has no apologies. He doesn't give a flying fuck what any of you motherfuckers think. And it drives you nuts. As much as you try to bash the guy, it never gets to him. Ever. Because he's Axl fucking Rose. And I do appreciate that about him. And I love the way he did the AC/DC material. Loved it. And boy, look. I've seen every AC/DC tour from For Those About to Rock all the way up to Rock or Bust. And I'll tell you this right now. AC/DC never, ever gave me a bad show. Every time I saw AC/DC, every single time, it was awesome. Every time. They never disappointed. Brian Johnson's voice, pretty shot. If you look at the YouTube videos, pretty shot. But still, one thing about YouTube videos opposed to actually seeing it live, there's different worlds. Because I go see that shit live. There's shows I saw live that I'm like, wow, it's phenomenal. And then I go back and watch it on YouTube and I'm like, wow, that singer sounds like shit. But boy, live it didn't, man. Because it was like getting caught in the moment. But a lot of you fuckers out there don't understand that. Oh, I saw the video and it sucks, so I'm not going to go see it. Well, Brian Johnson, his voice is very, very deteriorated, and I can 100% understand why. It's really hard doing that shit. I did Hell's Bells in Puerto Rico, and my voice was shot after that show, trying to do that fucking song. It's hard, man. But what do you guys care if his voice is shot? If Axl takes his place, it's wrong. No, but it's okay if Malcolm's no longer there. The guy that wrote all the riffs. The guy that brought Angus into the band. It's ridiculous. You fucks are ridiculous. Those fucking people that refunded their tickets, hey man, I totally understand. You're not a fan of Axl Rose. You refuse to see AC/DC. Hey, I didn't buy tickets to see fucking Axl Rose. I hate Axl Rose. I want my fucking money back. To you guys, hey man, I ain't got a problem with that. I totally understand you. If they brought in like, I don't know, like Bret Michaels or something, I would have refunded my tickets too. And I did have tickets to see Brian Johnson on the Rock and Bus tour. I bought my ticket for that. And it got canceled, but I kept the ticket and it was, accepted at the door. They said, don't refund the tickets, keep them, and you can see it again, or refund them and we'll give you your money back. I think that's pretty fucking cool. And I think it's cool that AC/DC offered people a refund. They didn't say, fuck you. You bought the ticket, now you're fucked. You're going to have to see us with that, or you're going to have to find a way to sell your tickets. No, they didn't pull that bullshit. Nobody sees that. Nobody at all. And as an AC/DC fan, and you're talking about a guy that got into AC/DC during the live album, If You Want Blood, before Highway to Hell. That's when I came into an AC/DC fandom and became a fanatic ever since. Sure, there's a couple Brian albums I'm not too crazy about. I didn't like Razor's Edge, and a lot of them are very spotty, starting at Fly on the Wall. But I'll tell you this. The best fucking time I ever saw AC/DC was the Flick of the Switch tour and the Rocker Bus tour with Axl Rose. Those were my two favorite AC/DC shows. And a lot of people, man, Blabbermouth can be the most cutthroat, idiot fucking sight on the fucking planet. And there's people there that hate Axl. I mean, hate him. And all of a sudden, they were even saying, wow, this sounds good with Axl. There was actually people, believe it or not, these morons actually do have, hey man, I'll admit when I'm wrong type shit. There's a lot of people out there that can't do it though. You just can't. You just can't. And also, that set list. Go look at the Rocker Bus set list with Brian Johnson and look at the one with Angus. Totally different set list. A lot of riff-raff was in there. If You Want Blood. A lot of songs that weren't, when Brian was singing. It was 2 hours plus. No opening. Oh, no, there was an opening act. But they still came out and they played over 2 hours. And they just killed. It was awesome. I loved it. I saw videos before the show and I was like, oh man, I can't wait to see this. Actually, if you go look on one of the Rock and Metal Combat podcasts, when the rumor was that Axl was going to join the band, both me and Ian were like, you know what? This would be pretty cool. But then there's people out there like, no man, it should be Mark Storace from Crocus. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Mark Storace. And Angry Anderson from fucking Rose Tattoo. Mark Storace's voice is nowhere near how it used to be. Go look at his recent videos, him doing Eat the Rich. It's nothing like it was back in the 80s. Now, if they would have got Mark Storace to do the tour, I would have still went, because I like Crocus. I would have liked it, but I think Axl did a better job than what he could have done. Angry Anderson, I don't know. That's jury's out. I'm not a huge fan. I don't really know much about him. I heard a little bit and was like, whatever. He probably could have done good. But I think only Axl and myself would have been the best replacement for Brian Johnson. But that's, and my point is, look, AC/DC, Angus Young is the face of AC/DC. He's not really like, Malcolm Young was the engine, but Angus was, the face and the show. When you go see AC/DC, it was Angus. It was the Angus show. Everybody stood back while Angus took center stage. Then Brian would come up front, Bon would come up front, do their little thing, walk back, and let Angus do his thing. Axl was no different. He treated that show with a lot of respect to the history of AC/DC, a lot of respect to Angus Young, He didn't do the spotlight bullshit. He didn't do the prima donna bullshit. He played the part of the lead singer of AC/DC perfectly. Whether you like his voice or not, he did what you should do as a lead singer of AC/DC. Go out there, belt out the songs, and then let Angus entertain the fucking crowd. And I know what some of you are saying. Oh, really, Ralph? What a hypocrite. You're saying all this, yet you bash Kiss for doing what they do. Well, here's the difference, fucknut. Axl Rose is not up there wearing a goddamn taxi driver cap like Brian Johnson does. Okay? Kiss has two guys dressed as two guys that made the image. There's a lot to work on the Kiss thing. Now, at the same time, and I've always said this, if you support Kiss and you like those two scabs, and you like going to see Paul Stanley sound like complete garbage on stage, that's fine with me. Keep supporting it. I have no problem with that. I'm just saying, this is a band that has this guy that can't sing anymore, that would always, when he could sing, say shit like, well, Peter Criss doesn't, have it anymore, and Ace Frehley never grew as a guitar player. And he would also say shit like, Peter Criss and Ace Frehley came up with the makeup and only they should wear it. And he also says shit like, oh, Kiss can go on without me because, everybody's replaceable in Kiss. Yet, and also he said, oh, we on the farewell tour, yeah, we want to leave before, we stay too long in the party. Everything he says, it's contradicting because now he can't sing, yet he won't leave the fucking band because, I know why he says it. It's an excuse for Tommy and Eric Singer to wear that fucking makeup. Oh, yeah, I'm going to pretend that I'll let it happen to me too. It's not going to happen. Anybody who thinks that Kiss is going to go on without Paul, like Paul said, you're an idiot. Or you will realize you're an idiot for believing it because it's not going to happen. I predict right now, if Kiss ever goes on without Paul, it'll probably be a Vegas residency, thing that'll flop and then Kiss will be over. Because Kiss without Gene or Paul, it's over. Because people out there love Gene and Paul and still support it. Nowhere near as much as when Ace and Peter were in the band. If you look at the history of Kiss, when Ace and Peter were in the band was when they did the most business. Yeah, you can bring up, but they sold millions in the 80s, but man, in the 80s, they were scraping by. I don't think they ever had a sold-out show ever in the 80s. If they did, it was a rare occurrence. Because I saw Kiss, all the Kiss tours of the 80s. And none of them were sold out. I think the most packed one I ever saw was Hot in the Shade. On the strength of those hair bands, whatever. I think it was Winger or whatever the fuck. Slaughter or some bullshit like that. Opening the show. And they were huge at the time too, so they sold tickets on that, and plus they had the big show, and it was well promoted. But then Revenge came out, a much better album, and a show that was chock full of classics like Hot in the Shade, and it didn't really do well. Why do you think they got back with Ace and Peter? Because it was over. They couldn't survive anymore. They would have had to go, they would have to reduce themselves to smaller venues. They couldn't play arenas anymore. It was over. They were playing goddamn hotels on the Kiss convention before the reunion. And everybody wanted the reunion. And look what happened when they reunited. Huge. Huge. Huge business. Now, shit. Kiss can only do good overseas. Over here, they either need a co-headlining or they play smaller venues, lost cities, as they say. And they can't even sell those out. It's over for that band. I don't know what they're planning next. You know, I think the biggest Kiss fans are in Europe. America, they're pretty much dead in the water. You know? But, at the same time, if you want to support that shit, I have no problem with you. I just have a problem with the politics of Kiss. I love Kiss. And I love AC/DC, but Angus never fucking badmouthed Brian Johnson or said anything bad about any past members. You know, what's the goddamn drummer's name from Fly on the Wall? Well, I know his name, so don't correct me. Simon Wright. There you go. And the bald dude that he brought back. You know, and I saw the blow Up Your Video tour, and that didn't have Malcolm Young. That was Stevie Young then, too, you know. I would love to see an AC/DC album with Axl, but I do have some worries about it. How are they going to make an album without the great Malcolm Young's songwriting? Unless they do what they did on Rock or Bust and use some of his ideas. You know? But I welcome it. And knowing how Axl is, I don't think he's going to want to release a half-assed AC/DC album. And, of course, Angus won't either. You know, he's got something to prove. Just like they did during the Back in Black era. And proved it well. But you know what? No matter what, they could release Back in Black again. An album as good as Back in Black. And people won't give it a chance. Because people suck. The whole point is people out there, your generation now, not my generation. My generation accepted shit like that. And look at Back in Black, how huge. Imagine, you know, if Back in Black came out now with Axl Rose. Or, no. Let's just say Bon Scott died, you know, 5 months ago. And they released now Back in Black with Brian Johnson. I don't think it will be as well accepted. At all. It won't. I know some of you going, yeah, it will. Fuck you. Fuck you, you fucking liar. You're a liar. I'm telling you, man, people are just fucking idiots. I'm convinced. I am convinced that if we didn't have no information on who played on what, if we had, you know, no information on who's a douchebag in a band, people would enjoy music more. People don't enjoy music for music, man. A lot of you fucks, like, they go, oh, I'll never support that, no matter what it sounds like, because they did something I don't like. Then you're not a music fan. And AC/DC didn't really change drastically. You know, from Heaven and Hell to Back in Black. Only the singer, you know, was different. But it wasn't that. AC/DC, we all know AC/DC pretty much never changed. The same fucking band. Where Van Halen was Sammy Hagar. And here's another rant I want to go into. Again, if you like Sammy Hagar, fine, that's cool. But here's one thing, and I want you all to take a look at this shit. Because I remember it well, because I lived through the Van Hagar years. And as we all know, David Lee Roth was the darling of MTV. Just a Gigolo, California Girls, Yankee Rose, Going Crazy, Eat 'Em and Smile, all that shit, they were loved. But something happened during Skyscraper and beyond, where MTV pretty much turned on Van Halen, on David Lee Roth, and took the side of Van Halen, or Van Hagar. Because if you want to go look, and God damn it, I can't remember the name of it, but it's some documentary. It's on YouTube, and I remember seeing this back in when it was first released. This was around the fuck era, 90. When did fuck come out? 91, I guess. I can't remember. But during that era, David Lee Roth was pretty much, you know, A Little Ain't Enough, a great fucking album, did nothing. And therefore, he was no longer flavor of the week. So, MTV made Van Hagar documentary where Kurt Loder, that fucking load of shit, says into the, Van Halen, they pretty much, it's the history of Van Halen, and they bring up the David Lee Roth years as a footnote. And they say David Lee Roth was a clown. And then they got Van Hagar and Sammy Hagar, and they made the band. I mean, literally, they say this shit. How Van Halen now is better than they've ever been because of Sammy Hagar. That David Lee Roth was, disposable. They just pretty much buried, like, the David Lee Roth years sucked. And I remember seeing that when it was aired, and it pissed me off. It really pissed me fucking off. Because that's not the same fucking band. Night and day, man. You can't say classic Van Halen sounds like Van Hagar. If you love it, that's fine. I don't care. I'm not like Ian. Ian wishes death on you. I don't. If you like the Sammy Hagar... I remember before Sammy Hagar was ever in Van Halen, I never liked his fucking solo shit. I remember saying... I'd hear I Can't Drive 55 or There's Only One Way to Rock and shit like that. I'm like, nah, man, I only like him in Montrose, man. He should go back to Montrose. I was saying that before he joined Van Halen. Then when I heard he joined Van Halen, at first I didn't, unlike all you fucks out there, I didn't think it was going to suck. I figured, they got Sammy Hagar, not really a great choice, but hey, let's see how it sounds. And then I heard... Why Can't This Be Love or whatever that stupid song is from 5150, and I was like, this is fucking terrible. And I never heard the album. I kind of was like, fuck, man. I was scared to hear the fucking album. So my friend Emilio, he had to go, he was going to go to the 5150 show with his then girlfriend, but for some reason, I can't remember, it's been so long, he couldn't go. She couldn't go. So he invited me for free to go see Van Halen. Now, I said, okay. He had 5150, so I heard it on the way to the show. And plus BTO, Bachman Turner Overdrive, was opening. And I was like, shit, I want to see BTO. I'm not like the biggest BTO fan, but I loved their hits when I was a kid on the radio. So I got to see BTO. Fuck it. And I got to see Eddie, my favorite guitar player. And he played me 5150 on the way to the show, and I was horrified. I was like, this is shit. This is terrible, man. And that's a lot of people, that don't like Van Hagar say, well, if at least 5150 was good. Fuck, if that's their best album, holy fuck. So I go see this show, and it was so bad. It was so fucking bad. And Sammy Hagar holding up David Lee Who banners that the crowd would come. Yeah, because a lot of those fucking sheep back then. That's the thing about Van Hagar. Van Hagar, whether you like it or not, you have to admit that shit is totally dated. Where Van Halen with David Lee Roth is not. And go listen to fucking shitty ass classic rock radio. They never play that fucking shit. All I hear is like the Dave era. I don't hear no Sammy Hagar. Maybe in your neck of the woods. And if that's the case, I'm sorry. I apologize. My condolences. But it's a different band. And it would piss me off how they were very popular. And now in retrospect, it's like Dave's Revenge. Now you look at that MTV documentary. I think that was what it was. The MTV rockumentary on Van Halen. Go look it up. It's such a pro Van Hagar and anti-Dave thing, trying to bury Dave and just pimp, the what was more popular, because Van Halen with Sammy Hagar won. When it became David Lee Roth solo against Van Hagar, Dave lost. He lost. Hey, I'll admit it. I liked his music more than Van Hagar. It was the true spirit of Van Halen, but financially, popularity-wise, it lost. And it didn't help when MTV was lathering the ass of Van Hagar with all these fucking sheep, because that's what they are, sheep. We're like, hey, Kurt Loder said they're better without Dave, so It has to be true. Well, now in retrospect, everybody loves the Dave years, and really, I mean, the people that still love the Sammy Hagar years, it's kind of like you guys are feeling what I felt back then. Now you guys know how I felt. Because now everybody's like, fuck that. Van Halen with Roth is way better than Sammy Hagar with Van Halen. You know? And Sammy Hagar. Oh man, don't get me started on that twat. Well, you did, so here I go. This is a guy that went on to say he's never opened for anybody since 79. Well, I saw him open for Journey and Aerosmith at the Miami Baseball Stadium. Lie right there. Also said that he was as popular as Van Halen, selling out arenas just like Van Halen was in 1984. Bullshit. He couldn't even come to Florida. He was not selling out arenas like Van Halen. No fucking way. His most popular album was around that time, VOA. But he wasn't selling out arenas. Maybe St. Louis, because I understand that's where he was popular. But he had a lot of problems in New York City. I know this for sure. But he doesn't talk about this shit. He's such a fucking liar. And there's a video of Sammy Hagar on fucking YouTube saying, because Eddie Van Halen said, I had to teach Mike how to play songs before we go on the road. And Sammy Hagar comes out and yells, fuck you, Eddie. Fuck you for saying that about Michael Anthony. Fuck you, this and that. Well, if you read Sammy Hagar's book, which somebody brought it to my attention, Sammy Hagar says in his book, yeah, before we go on tour, Eddie had to teach Michael Anthony parts of songs. The guy's a fucking idiot, hypocrite, and yeah, he was abducted by aliens, he says. I'm sorry, man. That's bullshit. The guy's a fucking piece of shit. Yeah, he was so popular. Well, how about now? You know, if you were so popular before you joined Van Halen, then what happened? What happened to your career, dude? What are you doing now? I know they just played Pompano Beach Amphitheater as a circle, and a friend of mine reported back to me, and it wasn't packed. It wasn't full. So there you go. The guy's a fucking dimwit. Fuck him. Fuck Sammy Hagar. But if you like the shit, cool. I just can't stand the fucker, and I will never, ever, ever, ever understand, ever, how anybody can listen to David Lee Roth sing like Little Dreamer, Light Up the Sky, stuff like that, and say Sammy Hagar's got a better voice. I know musical taste is subjective and we all have different, but man, Sammy Hagar's voice is fucking terrible. Dave's voice now is fucking terrible. I can admit it. He doesn't sound good anymore, but man, back in the day, those classic Van Halen albums, it wasn't technically a great voice, but it had that fucking, that's what I love. I love organic realness. Fuck your technical shit. In some cases, I love technical, but not in Sammy's case. His voice grates on me. Dreams? The way he hits those high notes in Dreams? Oh my God. I prefer Yoko Ono. It's terrible. I hate his voice. Hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it. Dave's voice? Come on. Woman in Love. Dance the Night Away. It's all fucking attitude that comes across. That's a fucking real motherfucker. That's the way I look at it. I'd rather listen to Richie Blackmore than Yngwie Malmsteen. Let me put it that way. And we all know Yngwie Malmsteen is technically way better than Richie Blackmore. But not for me, man, because it doesn't hit my soul. I love technical shit. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good. I love like a lot of the Dream Theater stuff and Rush and all that stuff. It's great. I love it. But to me, man, I like more stuff from the soul. But that's, again, I'm venturing into shit I shouldn't be bitching about because I totally respect people when it comes to this subject. You know, if you think Sammy Hagar's voice is good, that's awesome. But I just can't stand when people say, well, Sammy Hagar's got a way better voice than Roth. I'm like, to you, not me, man. I would hate to hear Sammy Hagar do Little Dreamer. The one good thing I can say about Sammy Hagar is that he is the best at sucking. Nobody sucks as well as Sammy Hagar. He is the king of suck. And he's very consistent at it, by the way. So he does have a talent. He has a talent in sucking. I also like the fact that he didn't do a lot of those Roth songs. I would hate to hear him do Little Dreamer. Oh my God, just the thought of it makes me nauseous. That voice singing that song? Ugh. But again, that's all personal opinion. Just like the personal opinion of people thinking Axl Rose's voice singing My Beloved AC/DC songs. See, I understand where you're coming from. I'm no fucking hypocrite. People out there that hate Axl's voice don't want him singing AC/DC song. I'm on your side, but the people that are out there saying Angus should not do this, and fuck you, man. Angus earned it. He earned it. Kiss earned it too. I'm not happy. I think it's fucking terrible, but people like it, so fuck it. Same thing with Van Hagar. People loved it back then, so fuck it. It pissed me off how they buried Dave and stuff, but I'm all happy about it now because the tables have turned and now Van Halen is the most loved of the incarnations of Van Halen. So that's pretty much my rant. No, I'm not done yet. I got another rant to talk about. People, this is something that really, really grinds my gears. And in a way, I agree with these people, but I don't take it so fucking personal like they do. There's going to be a show coming up where it's Five Finger Death Punch headlining and Judas Priest is... It's a festival, and Judas Priest is before them. And a lot of people are really pissed off that Judas Priest shouldn't be opening for Five Finger. Yeah, I agree, but whatever. You know what matters more to me? That Judas Priest is still around, and they got a new album coming out. I think that means more to me than them opening for, Five Finger Donkey Punch. It just, I really don't care. It doesn't really matter to me. And then also, oh man, I guess I should end my rant with this. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I have no problem with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Not anymore. I used to. My problem now is with the people that care about that fucking elitist bullshit institution. Because recently a big headline is Bon Jovi beat Judas Priest in the people's vote for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. People got so upset. Fuck Bon Jovi. Judas Priest is better. Well, yeah, I agree that they are better. I mean, a lot of Bon Jovi fans beg to differ. And there's many more Bon Jovi fans than us Priest fans that are into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Okay? Because I have faith. I honestly do believe that a lot of Judas Priest fans are like me and didn't even vote for Judas Priest to get in there. But you see, Bon Jovi fans care more about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Sorry, Bon Jovi fans. I'm not saying all of you, but any of you. I know there's a couple. I know a couple Bon Jovi fans online. But those couple, I don't think they really care about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. But for the majority, hell yeah, man. Your soccer moms and stuff like that. I want my John Bon Jovi in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And Judas Priest fans can give a fuck. Except for the ones that are upset that Bon Jovi won. You're the problem, not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You understand. If you didn't care. about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and everybody was like you, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame would be like pretty much done. Nobody would give a fuck. But the problem is, too many of you fuckers give a fuck. Iron Maiden's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Meh, 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 meh. Shut the fuck up. They shouldn't be in there. Black Sabbath should be taken out. Bon Scott, take them out. Take out all the good fucking metal bands. And also Led Zeppelin should be out of there, because the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is run by the elitist douchebags that hated Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath back when they were around in the 70s. But because of the power of the people and to show how much time did not diminish them. You know, Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin can headline fucking stadiums all around the world, and Black Sabbath can headline arenas all around the world. Can Jackson Browne do that? And that's the guy who Rolling Stone magazine would put up on a pedestal while saying that Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath were shit. The people have spoken. But now, Rolling Stone magazine is forced to let these bands in because of the people, because of how time dictated what really the people loved, the majority of the people. But the same people that want Bon Jovi inside the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame are the same people that would go see Queen with Alan Lambert or that karaoke singer. Guy's fucking terrible. Have you seen that shit? Holy fuck. I've never seen Queen, and I would love to see Queen with Paul Rogers or whoever the fuck, but goddamn, if they come with that guy, I don't know, man. I might have to decline that one. But, you know, I'm not going to be like you fucks out there and say Queen shouldn't be doing this. Oh yeah, and another thing, how I love when people say they're ruining the legacy. Ruining the legacy. What the fuck does that mean? Name me one band that ruined their legacy. One. I can only think of one that ruined their career, and that was Quiet Riot because of Kevin DuBro's big mouth. You know? But what band ruined their legacy? Seriously. I mean, we're talking about a legendary band. Come on, what better example of a band that tried to ruin their legacy more than fucking Metallica? You want to talk about a band that about faced on what they, the thrash, and they totally got away from it and started releasing garbage like Reload and Saint Anger and shit like that, and just doing fucking all this horrible shit like that pissed so many fucking people off. And yet that band plays stadiums. Boy, that legacy don't seem tarnished to me, does it? Ruin their legacy. AC/DC ain't gonna ruin. That's another thing. Oh, if Angus does this, he's gonna ruin the legacy of AC/DC. Dude, the legacy of AC/DC is concrete. That shit is fucking steel. Nothing's gonna ruin the legacy of AC/DC. Nothing. Because look at Metallica. AC/DC stayed the same musically. Metallica didn't. How did they ruin their legacy? Yeah, they ruined their legacy to the hardcores. But does that really matter? Does the hardcores really... Do you and I really matter if a band still sells out stadiums and plays all around the world and are as popular as ever, or even... do we really matter? Like when you go to a show... Like, I go to a show. I'll give you an example. I don't like Aerosmith, but I love old Aerosmith. So I went to go see Aerosmith several years ago. And they came out playing garbage like Love in the Elevator and, Pink and all that terrible fucking schlock that I personally hate. And then in the middle of this, they start playing Combination off the album Rocks. And I'm like, holy shit, fuck yeah. And I'm rocking out. And everybody around me was like, what the fuck's this crap? People are leaving to the bathroom, getting beers. No, nobody's giving a fuck about that. That right there shows you that we don't matter, idiot. We just don't matter. Accept it. I do. All right, so all the people around me are not getting into the combination. I don't give a fuck. I rocked to it, man. I had that highlight of the goddamn show for me. But I guess everybody out there cares too much about what other people should like. Fuck you, you elitist douchebag. I hate elitist douchebags more than posers. Because elitists point their fingers to people how they should act. A poser's finger is diddling their assholes. They're fiddling with their anus. So, I don't like posers, don't get me wrong, but if I had to choose, I'll take a poser over elitist any fucking day. Fuck you, elitist. Fuck you for telling me what I should like and not like. Fuck you. And here's another thing I want to bring up. If I'm offending anybody out there listening to my voice right now saying, fuck this guy, I'm never listening to this goddamn podcast again, I got 2 words for you. Thank you. I don't give a fuck. I really don't care. Because I know there's people out there, very little amount. I know I'm in the minority. Because I'm a music fan. I like music. I don't look into, hey, douchebag smacked this guy's girlfriend backstage, so therefore I can't like them anymore. No, I still love Screamer for Vengeance and British Steel. Some of my favorite Defender of the Faith. Some of my favorite metal albums of all time. The drummer on that molested a fucking kid in a wheelchair. Oh, sure, I think he should be shot in the head. I think his genitals should be chopped off and shoved up his fucking ass. Sure, that's what I think personally, but it doesn't diminish the music for me. And oddly enough, a lot of people out there, you're ruining your legacy, Angus, like Defenders of the Faith. Go figure. I'm telling you, man, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the fucking face. You guys aren't music fans. You guys let other parts, other facets of bands determine what you like. Like, oh man, I loved old Metallica. Well, guess what? They're going to release an album just as good as Master of Puppets. I know it's never going to happen, but let's just say they do release an album as good as Master of Puppets. Hypothetically, for shits and giggles, let's just say they can do that. You fuckers won't give it a chance because fuck Metallica, I'm not supporting them anymore. Because, man, look what Lars did with Napster. Yeah, look what Lars did with Napster. Yeah, remember before Lars went all apeshit on Napster? Remember when you walked into Best Buy and see those rows and rows and rows of CDs? Well, guess what? Go to Best Buy now. You ain't going to even see a row. Maybe 1 row. Maybe half a row. Maybe. Well, Lars was right, asshole. Look what Napster and downloading did to the music business. Lars a millionaire, man. He don't need the money. Rich rock star. Hey, man. Who the fuck are you to say who can need the money or not? You're the same motherfucker that would go buy a lotto ticket hoping you can get $20 million. So don't pretend you don't want money. Everybody fucking wants money. Everybody does. But you pretend that, if you're rich, then you don't deserve, more money. Hey, man, fuck that, man. Put more heaters and more hot tubs in my house. I'm all for it. Musically, I don't think I would ever sell out because, what I do in my music is shit I love. I'm not going to do anything. I never think of, gee, I wonder if somebody will like this. Let me write a song for people. I don't do shit like that. I can't. But, That's just me, because I'm also not. I'm in a great position where I make music and don't depend on it financially. And when you're in a position like that, there's no way you can sell out. You don't want to. You just want to make fucking music for the sake of making music. When I write a song and I release it, it's because I love it. Whether people out there love it or not, it's still a success to me. You know, there's going to be people that hate it. That's fine. There's going to be people that love it. That's awesome. I love that. I love when people tell me how much they love my music. It's fucking great. You know, it makes me feel very good, but it's not why I do it. You know? And I know Metallica does it because they want money. You know, they take out Avenged Sevenfold to appeal to the next generation. I know what they're doing. My co-host Ian is so pissed. Man, they're taking out Avenged Sevenfold. They should take out Exodus and, you know, and bands of that ilk. But the reason Metallica don't do that is because why? I mean, they're not going to gain any fans, because anybody that knows Exodus, you know they know Metallica. Avenged Sevenfold, I know Enter Sandman. And then they watch Avenged Sevenfold, let's stick around, I want to see Enter Sandman. And then they end up watching Metallica and hear shit like Hits the Lights and Creeping Death, and they may go, fuck, this is really good. And they continue to sell out stadiums and to reach new generations. I know what Metallica's doing. It's all business. It's called the music business for a reason. The same thing with Gene Simmons. Gene Simmons, you know, okay, another rant. I guess I'll never be done with this one. Well, I'm going to try to make this at least an hour episode. Gene Simmons, when he tried to trademark the horns, I thought that was the funniest shit ever. I knew he couldn't do it. And I think Gene knew too. But boy, he had everybody talking about it. Gene Simmons says the stupidest shit so that people can talk about him. He can be in the news. You know, it's publicity. It's press. And you all eat it up. Gene Simmons tomorrow will say something ridiculous again to piss all you off. But man, it clutters up my Facebook. Everybody's talking about it. You all are suckers. You all fall for it. You're flawed. Just like me. Because this is how I want to end my show. After everything I just said to you, I'm a very flawed person. Because as you can see, I'm no different than somebody that gets pissed off over what Gene Simmons says. I get pissed off about what people that say online about how Angus should hang it up. The only difference is you're getting no publicity and you don't matter. Gene Simmons matters whether you like it or not. That guy fucking matters. Kanye West, he could come out and say whatever bullshit he is. Most hated guy in the world. I don't think he's hurting for money. These are all business savvy people. Well, maybe Kanye West has a manager that's business savvy. He seems kind of like as smart as a Lincoln log. But either way, when you get people talking, like millions of people talking about you, whether it's good or bad, it's press, man. It's publicity. So in retrospect, I get more upset over what the little guy says, where all you get upset about what the big guys say. And the more you get upset at them and the more you talk about them, the more the money rolls in because it gets their name out there. Food for thought, bitch. So that's the end of my rant. So let's go into the Vieira Vault. All right, this week on the Vieira Vault, I'm going to play something from the late, great Bill Hicks. A lot of the politics that Bill Hicks was for, I'm pretty much against. But there was some things he said that were just so fucking funny. And I'm going to play you something that I personally think is the funniest stand-up bit I ever heard in my life. This is Bill Hicks talking about, if you have kids out there, your kids aren't special.
And this is the one, folks. This is the idea that has made me virtually an anonymous figure in America for the last 16 years. I have watched my crowds dwindle. I am going nowhere and nowhere quick. If you have children here tonight, and I assume some of you do, I am sorry to tell you this. They are not special. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's don't have any... Wait. Don't misunderstand me. I know a lot of y'all are... What? Wait. Let's be clear on this. I know you think they're special. I'm aware of that. I'm just trying to tell you, they're not. Do you know that every time a guy comes, he comes 200 million sperm? Did you know that? 200 million sperm. And you mean to tell me you think your child is special? Because 1 out of 200 million sperm, that load. We're talking one load. Connected. Gee, what are the fucking odds? 200, you know what that means? I have wiped entire civilizations off of my chest. With a gray gym sock. That is special. Entire nations have flaked and crusted in the hair around my navel. Maybe even Gideon. That is special. And I want you to think about that, you two egg-carrying beings out there. With that holier than thou, we have the gift of life. Attitude. I've tossed universes in my underpants while napping. Boom! A Milky Way shoots into my jockey shorts. Oh, what's for fucking breakfast?
Man, he's so right. They aren't special at all. Here are the plugs. I am Dr. Fuck.
And I'm the Total Alcoholic.
And we are part of the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast.
We are the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast.
That's right. And the way you can check us out is we are on iTunes and also Podbean. And we forgot a review recently. I got this review right here. It says right here, it says, Rock and Metal Combat Podcast is the greatest podcast in the world, and it's my #1 podcast, signed by Science. Now, and then Science also says... Science also said, my second favorite podcast is It Doesn't Matter, the Rest Suck. Rock and Metal Combat Podcast on iTunes and Podbean. Check it out.
Science!
Tired of your long commute and boring workday? Well, join Brian Davis and his gang of movie buffs as they talk about a different movie subject every week on Damn Good Movie Memories. We discuss movie themes like our favorite movie villains, favorite soundtracks, and worst movie remakes, and much more. Check us out on iTunes and Podbean at damngoodmoviememories.podbean.com.
Hey, this is DJ Mac. I want to let you guys know about the podcast with my co-host DJ Metal Mike, Mind Over Metal. You can find us at mindovermetalpodcast.com. We're also on Spreaker, iTunes, Podbean, and just about everywhere else you get your fucking podcast from. Oh yeah, and we're also on YouTube. So check us out for the best in heavy metal and hard rock music, news, discussion, and reviews. That's the Mind Over Metal podcast. Download it, subscribe to it today.
Hey headbangers, you want your own radio show? Well, you got it. On Thursday nights here on that metal station, join me on the Dr. Fuck Show. Go in the chat room and I will make you my co-host. That's right. Everybody that joins me in the chat room, I discuss whatever you guys want to talk about. I'll mention your name, I'll say what you say, and we're going to go back and forth. And I'll even fucking play whatever request you want. Unless it sucks. Then I ain't playing it because my show rules, and only songs that rule is allowed right here on that metal station. The Dr. Fuck Show airs live Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. Then they repeat it on Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there. Well, no, fuck that hope. I better see you there, motherfucker.
Earpillar, the podcasting and interview news site. To keep up with your favorite bands or artists and the podcasts or interviews where they appear, go to earpillar.com to find out what we're all about.
All right, Kiss Army. Since 2007, you've been getting Podkissed, the Kiss audio fanzine for your ears.
That's right, it's your Podkissed. Every month, the Podkiss crew, along with the Kiss Room, brings you Kiss talk like no one else, whether it be roundtables, interviews with the band past and present, analysis, and great Kiss fun.
Hi, this is Jay Fraley, and you're listening to Podkiss.
Hi, this is Bruce Kulick, and you're listening to Podkiss.
The Podkissed, the Kiss audio fanzine for your ears.
Listen to The Rock Show with Gully and Joe. Go to all the W's, Gully, GULLYANDJOA.UK, 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. Eastern. The Rock Show with Gully and Joe. Listen to it. Don't be a cunt.
You haven't listened to Mars Attacks podcast? What are you waiting for, man? Host Victor M. Ruiz brings you all types of hard rock and metal-based podcasts. You'll find everything from music-based episodes, interviews, to series such as Ultra Sexy Classic Album Series, where some of your favorite musicians, producers, journalists, and show hosts comments on the albums that push the evolutionary chains of hard rock and metal. Get with it and go to MarsAttacksRadio.com to find out more.
All right, this is the Ayatollah of Alcohol, Ian Wadley, and I want you to listen to my brand new radio show, Wadzilla World, where I cover every era of fucking music that I like. And a few that you like too. Check me out every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time on Soundphoria.com. I'll see you there.
Hey, rock music fans. This is Terrence Reardon of the Terrence Reardon and Friends Audiovisual Podcast. Join yours truly as I look every week at a different classic rock or metal album that had a major impact on my life, and I'm usually joined by a friend or two or 10. And we talk about nothing but great classic rock and metal. And there's no country or Sammy Hagar or rap on the fucking show. That shit is frowned upon with yours truly. So if you want a great classic rock audiovisual podcast, tune on in to the Terrence Reardon and Friends Audiovisual Podcast. New episodes every Monday, exclusively on YouTube.
Hey everybody, I'm Aaron.
And I'm Chris.
And we're from the Decibel Geek Podcast. And if you love this...
then you'll love us.
That's right. Brand new episode every single Monday. You can find us on iTunes and at decibelgeek.com. And the best thing is, it's rock and roll and it's always free.
All right, so I hope you enjoyed my rant show. If you didn't, you suck. Anyway, as I say as always, if you're listening to my voice right now, that means you fucking rule. And it would be an honor for me to sleep with your sister. Thank you so much. Talk to you guys next time.